What's up, Explearners? Welcome back, and hello to anyone here who is new. Welcome to my channel, Explearning Communication, where you're gonna get tips and tricks and strategies to become a better public speaker and interpersonal communicator. So today we're talking about stance because it is so important, not just what you say, but how you say it. This is true for when you speak to one person, 10 people, 200 people, YouTube audiences, and when you're on stage, because your message needs to be conveyed clearly and effectively. And one way of doing that is by paying attention to our delivery, which can be aided by stance, how you stand on stage or in front of large groups of people. So without further ado, let's get right into it. You'll notice that there's often a podium on stage. I don't want you to use it. Why? Because it's restrictive and it blocks you off from the audience. So it's like saying, okay, I'm gonna stand here and you guys can stand all the way over there and I'm gonna talk to you from the podium, which you don't wanna do. It doesn't create rapport and it also really restricts you. So instead you wanna be walking freely, you wanna make sure that you're pacing, and I will make another video later about pacing. Comment below if you want to know more about what to do to pace effectively on stage. So that's for later. Comment below and let me know if you want a video on this. I want you to think about, projecting your voice well. Another video will come about that too. Comment below if you want a video on voice projection techniques. The other thing you can do is ask for a lapel mic if you feel like your volume needs to be adjusted, and if people can't hear you, maybe you're soft-spoken, right? So at all costs, I want you to avoid the podium. Move it, don't use it, and just use the stage instead. Really important to stand square. That means that my shoulders are pointing squarely towards the audience. Notice how I'm not talking to you like this over my shoulder. Hey guys, right? We don't do that kind of thing. Certainly not on stage. So instead, you have to make sure that your shoulders are square and they're pointed directly towards your audience and to your interlocutors. It is our natural tendency to want to sway when we have our feet next to each other. And notice how this is starting to make you dizzy and also distracted. When people come to see you talk, they're not going to a tennis match. They're not going to be doing that, or they shouldn't want to anyway. The idea here is that in order to avoid swaying, you should put one foot slightly in front of the other. So we stagger our feet. It doesn't really matter if you put your right foot in front of your left or vice versa. Just, alternate so that you don't get tired of it while you're standing for prolonged periods of time. But really try to stagger your feet. And they don't have to be too far apart, right? We're not lunging here. This is not a fitness class that you can do later or before. But just stagger your feet, right? So this is when your feet are not staggered, and this is when they are. Okay? Plant your feet firmly in the ground. Make sure you feel the connection with the earth or the stage. And to do this, I want you to evenly distribute your weight so that there's not too much weight in your toes or your heels, but evenly distributed. And that's going to allow you to really plant your feet firmly, which is what we want. In addition to having your shoulders pointed straight at the audience, you also want your feet to be doing the same thing. And this is true too when you're in a smaller public speaking setting or among friends or colleagues or whatever it is. Wherever you're communicating, you want your feet to be pointed towards your interlocutors, the people with whom you're speaking. Don't lock your knees. That's going to tire you more quickly, and especially if you're standing for prolonged periods of time, you don't want your knees to buckle. So instead, I want you to think of maintaining a weightlifting stance. So if you're familiar with, lifting free weights at the gym, you can have your knees slightly bent, and that will allow you to stand for longer periods of time more comfortably. Okay, so maintain a weightlifter position for free weight lifting and have that slight bend in your knees. That will really help you. All right, Explearners, that's it for this video. If you liked it, which I hope you did, please give me a like. Be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and ring that bell for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday delivered right to your inbox so that you can become a better public speaker and interpersonal communicator. Happy Explearning!